we are not actually in there. We are trying, but I think that we need to sensitize more people to understand that there's more opportunities that we can actually get in this field. That's
we're getting there, but I just want to know the perception those around you, the United States of America, have about Cameroon. They used to know it's a country of Roger Miller, peaceful country, but it's not always the case this time around.
That's right, that's right. I mean, the stories are still there. The most renowned people talk about a toll feast. Everyone knows that you're a Cameroonian. I mean, some of the things that you know as football represents who we are, and to easily tell someone where you're coming from, you most of the time relate to most of these things. And these are some of the stories that we still hear out there that still represent who we are. And yeah.
Okay, you say you were here in Cameroon, trained in Cameroon, and then you moved to the US. You were trained as a teacher.
No, I actually went to school here in Cameroon. I had my advanced level, my ordinary level, and advanced level here, and then I moved to Germany for a bachelor in process engineering, and then I later on moved to France for a bachelor degree on chemical engineering. Later on again, I moved to Netherlands, and now I'm in the US.
What was pushing you out to travel all over the world? And was it only academic, or
well,
you're just spending for life?
Somehow academic was actually one of the reasons why I wanted to move out. I feel that there's a lot that we can actually learn from people that are from other countries that have been doing well, and we can always bring back the knowledge here in country to help empower people. So one of the reasons why I actually wanted to go out was to learn the skills that are required to push Cameroon forward. And I feel that I've learned a couple of things that people out there are still not aware of, that I can also share with people. And that's has always been my dream, to give back and to share and empower people through education.
Thank you. Let's come to you, Nathan. Your own professional background?
Thank you very much, sir. I am Muge Nathan, as you just said. I'm a teacher by profession, a sport teacher for that. And I schooled in Cameroon. I'm still there in Cameroon, so I am a trainee with the KiawiTechIT Academy.
Okay.
So I am a Cameroon-based trainee.
Thank you. Let's come to Mr. Kiawi, CEO KiawiTechIT Academy. Wow, sounds so good. How big is Kiawi Academy?
So right now, KiawiTechIT Academy has over 500 people, and it's growing. While current batch right now has over 250 trainees. We don't call them students, because we are a professional training institution that actually offer vocational training. So hands-on training to help people in the field. So we don't call them students. So
I'm just wondering, how easy or difficult was it for a Cameroon like you to go that far, having a university in America?
So I will not say it was that easy. It all started off with a one-to-one mentoring. I just felt like I need to, whatever I learned, I want to give back. I want to mentor someone. We started, I would say, the first trainees that we actually trained, just about 2 or 3. And then we kept the standard, we kept being consistent, we kept giving back and helping. And then it just grew. And we've been doing very well out there in the US, and especially in the African community, on the privileged community over there. And I feel that there's a need for us here to also experience what people are experiencing out there, because the field that we are in does not limit us to Cameroon boundaries. It does. We have no limit. We decide to set our limit. So that's why I feel that the reason why Cameroon should also be involved. Why not? Other countries like India, China, and the Asian country that have been doing extremely well. Call any call center over there, and you see a call coming from India or from China. Why not Cameroon? We can do it.
Nathan, how did you learn about Kiawi Academy, and what have you learned from there that is impacting your life as a Cameroonian?
Yes, as a teacher, first of all, when I was trained, I just thought that teaching was just the end of it. So when I saw on Facebook, when I saw on other media about the KiawiTech, because he has been talking about it, so I said, okay, let me give it a try. And so, to my greatest surprise, I'm here today to talk about KiawiTech, a school that I looked at far. I looked at it as if it was a dream. And so I'm so happy because KiawiTech has brought my dream, has converted my dream to reality. So what I'm so happy about it is that with the database that we are talking of, we are able to work even at home. so it will not disturb my
We should get to that. We were discussing on opportunities in database administration and and cloud computing.
That's right, sir.
So big words in IT there. Can you break it down for those people listening who are down there to know what they're calling database administration and cloud computing?
Yes, so these words sound very complex, and so many people might listen to this and think that it's something very complicated. But I will say everyone is already a database administrator. Every single one of you sitting out there watching us is already a database administrator. When you have your phone, and on your phone you have contacts, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to switch phone for whatever reason and lose that information. Well, if you have WhatsApp and you want to switch phone, you want to keep that information. So what a database is just managing that data. Now think about it in a large perspective, like CRTV, for example, here, Camtel, MTM, Orange, Dangote, all these so many companies that we have out there, they have a database. When you go to a bank to register for an account, what you're supposed to provide is your ID card. You provide some basic information about your address, your income, and whatever account you are creating. All that information is entered somewhere, which is called a database. And when that data grows to a certain size in volume, someone is there to manage it, and that individual is called a database administrator. So you are a database administrator without even knowing.
Of my phone.
Yes.
Now, if you look at it from a bigger perspective, a bigger angle, you want to talk about database administration of civil servants, like the case in our country, which is always a headache.
Definitely. That's why I really think that for us to grow as a country, we need to embrace IT. We need to embrace things that will make our life easy. For example, traceability of every single individual in a country. That information can be registered on a database. Where if you have all that trace all together, we generate some different kinds of jobs that comes out because every individual can be traced. For example, car rental in this country can be a very challenging thing because if someone rents a car, you don't know where that individual is going to take the car to. Somehow you rent it with your ID card, but there is no way of tracing that easily where the police can just pick up that individual and say, this car is gone and it has been reported and we see you with this car, you are under arrest, and things like that. So we can bring this thing and digitalize a lot of the things that we have in our own country, which will help us to generate other opportunities that are not even.
We shall get to opportunities again. Interesting there now. You are based back home, and what he's saying, I'm sure, touches you. The ordeal you have, having birth certificates in the level of a council and those type of things, you see, he's trying to say that if we had that database which we could register and keep, it's easy to trace from the moment somebody is born to the moment somebody dies.
Yes, that is very possible.
How possible is that?
Yeah, it is very possible because database, I want to say that database is like a brain, a long-term brain, a brain that can keep information for a very long time. So we only need somebody who will be able to manage it by backing it up. That person will be able to make sure that the data is always available at a given point in time. And so if that person is able to, that person called database administrator, is able to carry out his duty well by ensuring that no data is lost, then even in the million years we'll be able to have the data.
Now that's about databases. You said it's good to trace people, to trace to trace events and so on. We keep that data. But I'm still coming back to this. I was saying,
yes, sir.
If you were to implement that at the level of public administration management in Cameroon,
yes,
what will you be proposing? You have known stories of parents who leave the regions and come to follow documents.
Yes.
Should it even be coming up? If
No.
there is
No. There shouldn't be any reason why anyone should leave their region and travel anywhere to follow up any document. Because all that, once that information is digitalized, we don't have to worry about it because we can easily trace it. You can sit down at the suburb of Com somewhere and just with a single phone be able to trace where is my ID card. If I apply for an ID card, I'm trying to figure out where it is. I'm able to see that because I have access to the database and I can trace that information, and that information will never get lost. Now, we've heard about situations a lot of time where a municipality gets burned down and all that record is gone. That situation will no longer be the case when you digitalize that and you have that in the database, because we have database administrators are in charge of making sure the data is backed up, making sure the data is available, making sure that users can access the database every single time they want it. And the company back then, or the municipality, can sit back and relax, knowing fully that they are protected and every individual is there. Now we've seen a lot of situations in this country where things like you talk about the fact of everyone can be tracked from when they're born until when they die, because there is a database. And with a database, we can even institute a so-called social security, like in other countries, where every single individual that gets born has a social security number, and you cannot fabricate a social security number at the age of 30. Where were you when you were born? You know, so if a new social security number comes out at the age of 30, it should either be an individual that has migrated to Cameroon and acquired Cameroonian nationality, or it should be someone that had maybe acquired a residence in this country through whatever means that individual has acquired. So it's very easy for administration to be able to follow up every single thing at the level of digitalization and putting in the database.
Kiawi,
Yes, sir.
one comboy like that. We just started common you were speaking there. Now, okay, let me have this also very
Why not
clear.
thank you? Thank
No,
you.
come also with you.
Yes.
Want to know. If it's as easy as you're putting it,
Yes.
then why are people feel dragging?
Well, I think sometimes it's about awareness, and that's what we're doing, right? Creating awareness on the fact that this is not really difficult. Now, I don't want to jump into cloud computing because that's where
Just wait, that's why this
That's-
man has to come in very
Yes.
calm because I don't
Yes.
take it all the time.
that's where we actually go into, right? Because a lot of countries or a lot of municipalities just